How many units do you have right now?
23 units. My name is Brenton Fowler. I'm the financial controller here at DealMachine. I do buy and hold investing. Initially, I did a lot of just buying on MLS, 20% down. In more recent years, I've been doing a lot of BRRRRs. It was kind of a roundabout way. When I first finished college, I moved in with a friend who was also a landlord in a duplex, and I rented a room from him and kind of over time saw what he was doing. He was living for free, maybe even making a little bit of money. And I thought, well, I should do this too. So I bought my own duplex, and then actually him and I joined forces like a year or two later, and then we started buying property together. So it's about 4 or 5 years ago. This is a little bit before the market blew up completely, but back in that time, I bought a flipped duplex in sort of a transitioning neighborhood. And yeah, it was pretty easy. You would not find this deal now, but.
And you found tenants really easily through the other side?
Yep, the finishes were really nice in the property, and we had really good pictures for it. The neighborhood was kind of coming along, so it wasn't that difficult. I would say most of my deals now are found through my network of wholesalers. I still look at MLS occasionally, but the vast majority are through wholesalers. I do not have a license, but I have an agent who invests himself, and he kind of knows our criteria, what we're looking for, and he'll let us know, like, hey, something came on market that you might actually be interested in. There's not a lot on MLS, but occasionally. If you are going to do buy and hold like I'm doing, I would recommend a lot of people to try house hacking first, which if you don't know house hacking, it's just living in one unit and then renting out another if you have a multi-unit property, or it could be one unit property where you just rent out rooms. It's a great way to get your feet wet. You need to live somewhere, right? So it's a great way to combine those two things. A lot of them were already established connections, friends that I had that, if you just generally talk about what you're doing, people just find their way to you. So they were just existing friends, and one had a brother, and that turned out to be, he was one of the largest wholesalers in Indianapolis. And just the more that you talk to people and the more that you tell them about what you're doing, it just becomes easier and easier. That's a good question. Rental comps are probably the biggest thing I look at. So Zillow or Rentometer, there's a couple different methods. There is a little bit of trial and error. Oftentimes you'll start the rent high, see if you get any bites. If you don't, you can slowly move the price down over time. Zillow is the main way, and all of the companies under Zillow as well. It's kind of an umbrella company. But most of them are found through there. And then through our property management software also disseminates a lot of our listings to all sorts of different sites. I would say for now I work with wholesalers because it's the best option I have available to me. Now that things are changing in the market that I invest in, which is Indianapolis, I'm starting to see the need for sourcing my own deals and then using a tool like DealMachine to do that. It doesn't bother me. I'm really only concerned about my number, right? If I can get to the number that I know will work for the deal, if they're making $30,000, I don't care. Like, if the deal works for me and my numbers fit, I want the wholesaler to be successful, because hopefully that means we'll do more deals together. There are 3 things that I've identified recently that I am targeting when meeting new wholesalers. The most important one is that the wholesaler is bringing value to me in the way that they are not sending me deals that might as well be an MLS listing. They're not market price deals, so they're providing me value in the way that they're priced below the market, such that I could add value to it through rehab, or even no rehab. It should be less than what it would be on market. And then on top of that, a lot of wholesalers will ask you for your deal criteria. What are you looking for? Multi-unit, what's your price point? How much rehab are you wanting to put into the property? And the wholesalers that actually take that information and then use it to send you personalized deals, that goes a long way. Like a personalized email rather than just like a blast, email. So that's a big one too. And then I would say the last one is just doing what they say they're going to do, whether that's meeting you at the property at the time that you you said, or sending you the contract at the time that they said, or they're not going to adjust the price on you if they suddenly get an influx of other buyers who are interested. So those are the three main things that I look for. I would say often with wholesalers, I'm fine using their title company. I certainly have my preference about them, but I've not found it to be enough of a difference to really swing the deal either way or influence it, yeah. Yes, I have, but someone on my team has walked it.
You've had boots on the ground.
I've had boots on the ground walked it, whether it's my business partner or a contractor, someone has walked it. I think there's a time and a place for sight unseen. I think it's sometimes necessary for out-of-state investors, but the way I see it, if I'm 5 miles away from a property, then why would I not, right? Just be lazy at that point. So tenants are difficult sometimes, but everyone knows that. There are a bunch of little things that people don't always think about when it comes to rental property and some of these logistical things. Like a lot of it is during move in and move out. So, getting tenants keys and just things like that, little logistical problems that really help if you have someone to help you out with that. No, we have a pseudo property management setup where we have a couple guys on retainer who do all of our maintenance, and then we have sort of an administrator who works a few hours a week helping schedule them and all of that. So it's more of an in-sourced property management company almost. Yeah, right now our maintenance team, that's the same team that does most of our rehab. So it's mostly up to them to find subs and help if they need it. But yeah, same thing, what I said earlier, just networking, talking to different people, telling them what you're doing, and then eventually something will go your way. I don't know, at least for what my goals are in terms of the number of units that I have, I don't know if I'll ever completely outsource property management. What it may look like is we just scale up the hours of our administrative assistant, basically, who helps with a lot of the tenant placement and communication. And then if she can't do it, then maybe we look at someone else who can do more hours. So I just find that we can insource it more effectively, both from a communication perspective and also from a cost perspective. So I would say that kind of naturally fell in place early on, based on both of our skill sets. I'm in finance and accounting, that's my 9 to 5, so naturally I did all of the bookkeeping and ran most of the numbers for all the deals and handled a lot of the insurance work or different paperwork that's associated with it. And he was much more dealing with the tenants and placing the tenants and taking maintenance requests and overseeing the rehabs of our units that we've purchased. So it's kind of naturally fell into place just based on our skill sets. It was never my intent for real estate to become a full-time thing for me. My intent was to always make it a passive endeavor. So I like being a part of a company, being part of a team, working with fun people. So yes, I was buying during COVID. I am still buying now. I'm closing on a duplex in about a week. So
holy crap, congrats.
Thank you. Facebook is actually a really good resource. If you find a Facebook group in your local market, I've found that that's where a lot of the active discussion takes place about your particular market. Bigger Pockets is another great resource, but I've found Facebook to be the most active one. So just do some of your own research and find what those groups might be.
Would it just be as easy as somebody saying like, hey, I'm looking for buyers in this area, and you just like dropping your email in the comments, or how?
Yeah, a lot of the groups probably have rules for that. So like if you're a wholesaler, they may not just let you post that anytime, but if you have deals, you will easily build a buyer's list. That won't be a problem. Real estate it's both a numbers game and a people game. So you have to practice learning how to run your numbers to find deals, and you have to be able to surround yourself with the right people, whether that's contractors, an accountant, an agent. So you just have to be willing to put up the work up front, and then as you go, you can kind of build systems around that, and then that's what really allows you to scale, and that's what can make real estate a really powerful tool and ultimately a passive tool if you want it to be.